Of all the memorials located within Princes Street Gardens in Edinburgh, perhaps the most striking of all is that of a seated kilted soldier with a rifle on his lap, casting his eye towards Edinburgh Castle. Behind him is a frieze depicting men answering the call to arms and falling in behind a stirring pipe band. An inscription on the statue's plinth states that this is a tribute from men and women of Scottish blood and sympathies in the United States of America to Scotland. But why did the people of America dedicate a memorial to the fallen of Scotland in the First World War? How did it come to be in Edinburgh? This is the story of what is commonly known as the Scottish-American War Memorial. The memorial owes its existence in some small way to Donald Cameron of Lochiel, the 25th Chief of Clan Cameron. During the First World War, he had been tasked by Lord Kitchener to raise a battalion of infantry. He agreed to do so on the condition that he command it, and he duly became the commanding officer of the 5th Battalion of the Queen's Own Cameron Highlanders until he was invalided home in 1916. After the war, he undertook a tour of the United States and Canada, and in 1923 he attended a luncheon given by past presidents of the St Andrew's Society of Philadelphia. During that lunch, he described some of his experiences and those of others during the war, and he recounted the losses suffered by Scottish regiments, as well as their gallantry. His speech was said to have inspired the listeners to create some kind of tangible tribute to the men of Scotland from the people of America. At that time, the current president of the St Andrew's Society of Philadelphia was Dr. Robert Tate Mackenzie, a Canadian who, besides being a lecturer at the University of Philadelphia, was also a noted sculptor. His eventual design for the memorial was an inspired choice. The soldier has his gaze lifted towards Edinburgh Castle, in particular to that part of the castle where the Scottish National War Memorial is located, as if paying its own tribute to Scotland's fallen. Mackenzie deliberately sculpted the figure to have no badges of rank or insignia, so that it could be an everyman and not from a particular unit. For the model of the main figure, Mackenzie utilised a student at his university, a young man by the name of Granville Carell. Over the course of the 3 years it took for the sculpture to be completed, the two became great friends, with Carell acknowledging that without Mackenzie's help and guidance, he would likely not have completed his studies at the university. Below the memorial frieze are lines from the poem A Creed, written by Ewart Allen Mackintosh. If it be life that waits, I shall live forever unconquered. If death, I shall die at last strong in my pride and free. Ewart Allen Mackintosh was a former classics student at Oxford who had been killed in action in 1917 while serving as an officer with the Seaforth Highlanders. The creation of the sculpture and the memorial took a total of 3 years from the initial planning, and the total cost, said to have been £10,000, was raised through donations collected by branches of the St Andrew's Society throughout the United States. Over 800 Scots Americans made the journey to Edinburgh to witness the unveiling of the memorial, which took place on the 7th of September 1927. The unveiling was carried out by Alanson B. Houghton, the United States Ambassador to the United Kingdom. Part of Houghton's speech on the day read as follows: "Today we commemorate the Great War with the figure of a common soldier, one youth separated from the thronging files of recruits pressing on from behind, one youth within sound of the pipes and drums and within sight of the old castle on the hill, one son of Scotland from a mansion or a manse or a mine, from a farm or a factory, from a Glasgow close or an Edinburgh lane, it mattered not, for he came from all of these. He kept lonely company with his own soul in a tank or in a trench, on the sea or in the sky, and he went to his death alone." The following day, the statue was lifted so that a glass jar containing the list of subscribers to the memorial, together with some coins and a copy of the Scotsman newspaper, could be placed inside. A postscript to the memorial's creation took place about 20 years later during the Second World War. Edinburgh saw a number of visitors from Allied countries, including large numbers of US service personnel. One of those was a major in the US Army Air Force by the name of Granville Carell. Although he was familiar with the memorial and his own likeness, he had never before seen it in its final location. Sadly, no photographs exist which record this meeting with his bronze younger self. There is an annual remembrance service at the memorial attended by the US Consul in Edinburgh, and often there are US service personnel in attendance. But for the rest of the year, most of the visitors or local shop workers who take their lunchtime breaks on the nearby benches are unlikely to know of the symbolism or the history of the memorial. How many know that they are in presence of a national memorial, raised to honour the huge sacrifices of our small country over a century ago? Thank you for watching this video on the Scots-American War Memorial. We hope you found it interesting. If you'd like to see more like this, please let us know in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a like on this video and subscribe to our channel if you'd like to see more.